is Tony Weaver Jr. This is my good friend Rashid Cheek, and this is a television. That's a television too. How many of you guys have televisions in your room or at home? Raise your hand, please. Yeah, that looks about right. According to the Nielsen Corporation, 99% of people in the United States of America have at least one television in their household. And Americans watch over 250 billion hours of television a year. Now, a lot of people look at TV for news, some people look at it for different shows, and a lot of people turn into Netflix and things like that to look at the shows they want to watch. However, did you know that television can have an unconscious effect on the way that you see the world? Communications researcher George Gerdner coined the term cultivation theory in 1977. And the idea of cultivation theory is that the more time a person spends watching television, the more that they believe the real world is like the world that they see on television. Now, for some people, that's not really an issue. However, for people that look like Rashid and I, who are African American, when you turn on the television, rather than seeing us as superheroes or action heroes, normally we're shown as criminals and generally bad people. Research shows that African Americans are portrayed negatively the most out of any ethnicity on television. We're consistently shown as provocatively dressed, prone to crime, undereducated, ignorant, as sexual predators, impulsive, violent, and a lot of other things. And some people may say, well, that's just television. People understand that when you look at television, that's just things on TV. However, research shows that that's not the case. Media literacy in the United States especially is at an all-time low. And due to cultivation theory, or rather the phenomenon that cultivation theory observed, things like this that are shown on television actually have real-life effects on how people of color are treated in real life. So, together we thought to ourselves, what could we do in order to fight these stereotypes, in order to combat these stereotypes? And the idea that we came up with was extremely similar to what research says. Communications researchers Bradley Greenberg and Dana Mastro said that the best way to combat negative stereotypes is to create content that fights those stereotypes. So we created a production company entitled POC Productions, and we're creating media that challenges the stereotypes about African Americans presented in the mainstream media. And we're working on a web series. And that web series is called Weird Enough to Work. It's about 3 African American college students experiencing their lives, and it talks about how their experiences are defined, I guess you can say, or how they are influenced by the fact that they're African American. Rather than trying to be preachy or anything like that, they're just standard situations that anybody will find themselves in. However, the goal is to educate people on media literacy, and through the show, fight the negative stereotypes that are generally portrayed about African Americans in the media. As far as value proposition, we currently have 10 10-minute episodes that are complete and ready for production. As a matter of fact, we start production on Saturday. We have a strategic communications action plan that I've worked on as a junior strategic communications major that makes use of social media and every marketing avenue that you can think of. We've done a lot of research on it. We've done case studies on previously successful web series. And we also have a functioning company that's equipped with an executive board. We have a writing team. We have a production team. We have everything necessary in order to create a good product. As far as a timeline goes, like I said, we start production this coming weekend, and we plan to have the entire show produced and finished by January 2015. In January 2015, we also plan on beginning social media activity. Based on the research that we've done, it's easy to use different apps like Vine and Instagram in order to release short videos that aggregate an audience and get people paying attention to the content that you're creating. So by February, when we begin distributing content, we already have an audience that's there and available and interested in what we're doing. Between March and August 2015, each episode will be released on a 2-week basis. And when we return in August, we hope to have enough subscribers and followers to continue making season 2 of the show. As far as the next steps, if we were successful enough to receive any money, we would use it to file for articles of incorporation, so it would be an official company, purchase copyrights, go towards website development, production costs, and then also supplement our organic marketing with sponsored marketing tactics. And finally, as far as profitability, it would start small with things like advertisements. We would move up to media sponsorships. In June of 2014, the average Vine that was sponsored, where a company had their product featured in a Vine, that Viner received $49,000 on average, just for a 6-second video. So once we develop an audience and once we develop people that are looking at our content, it'll be really easy for us to raise our margins and use the money to invest in more ambitious projects. Any questions?
StratCom.
Yes, sir. I'm also an acting major.
Okay. What about, you have somebody like that does production?
Yes, sir. Mia Watkins, she's our director. She is a junior cinema major, and she's been doing cinema stuff since she was in high school. She actually went to Hong Kong this past semester. And we're also working with our director of photography, who, even though he's a first-year student, he took a gap year specifically to study cinema in the United Kingdom. So we have a lot of people that know what they're doing.
You said your videos are 10 minutes long?
Yes, sir. We would like to use the short-form videos like Vine and Instagram in order to get people interested, so that since they already know the content that we create and they already know that it's funny, they'll be more likely to watch the 10-minute long episode.
Are your videos, what's the demographic they're going after? Other college students?
We're
Caucasians? Other African Americans?
We're trying to market to people between the ages of 15 and 25. Which I know is a large margin, but regardless of race, what we're trying to put in place is that the content that we're creating, the situations that people go through, is something that everybody goes through. We're not an African-American show. We're just a show that illustrates the complexity of the human condition through the eyes of an African-American person. And that's really what we want to do. We want to prove to people, we want to educate people that we're the same, regardless of what you see on television.
Other?
That's a question. So in order for this to work, have you thought about just breaking out the audience? So to prevent like only African Americans watching an African American show, I know that's not what you're being marketed as, but what's your plan to break out into mainstream? So if you want to produce a more positive visual of minorities in the mainstream, how are you going to break into mainstream and get out of the niche?
Well, as of last week, I was awarded the Leadership Prize, which is something that the School of Business started offering this year. So I have $10,000 to do research specifically on misrepresentation of African Americans and how to combat those stereotypes. As far as marketing goes, we're working on...
I guess this is the last call for the Alamance County immigration.